Hey, I'm Conan from Level 39, a community of over 200 technology startups, scale-ups and corporate innovation labs. Ambition Explored is a series by Level 39 where we get insights from leaders powering some of the most ambitious companies around. I'm speaking with Gabriela Tazari, who is the Director of R&D. Thanks for being on this episode of Ambition Explored. I know you're flying back to Italy shortly after this. So, what does your day or week typically look like?
You know, being, inside the research for exploration on innovation capabilities is always pretty tough because you have to be almost everywhere. So basically, my week is never the same. I'm always split between London, Milan, potentially also abroad to see some new, events.
So Gabriele, tell us a bit about yourself and what your team does.
Well, I'm in the company since its very beginning, even before the site went live. And basically, I've worked as a CTO for the first part of my job. And as I said before, we crossed many relevant, milestones in the evolution of the company. The things related to how we envision R&D is more, as a exploration enhancer and the ability, to catalyze opportunities into the business and into technology as well. So the team of technology has grown a lot. So since the beginning, it was me, but right now we are more than 1,000 people working there. So you really need to inspire people once you're inside such an environment.
And when joining Yoox, what was your vision for the tech team?
My objective was to hire motivated people and basically people that were able to learn very easily. So that was my first objective. Of course, we needed to focus on our creation, so that was introducing e-commerce for the fashion retail. And that was not an easy task because there was nothing done at the moment. So we had to build it from scratch. There were no platforms, no ease of access to infrastructure, technology whatsoever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's different to even building natively today. You were creating things that others probably had to replicate or learn from later.
Yes, so we were lucky. And this was a successful project. It was adopted, and finally we created the future for this industry.
And when it comes to R&D, do you think it's good to have an extremely open mind, or should it be laser focused?
Exploration is driven by open mind because it's an inclusive and diverse process, what we are looking for. So basically, you need a laser focused approach to deep dive and understand how can you use it as its best.
So it's about having that vision and being able to realize when you've hit something and something's good.
Exactly.
Then you should, you could say, attack it and develop it further or explore it further. So I take it then there is still a culture of it's okay to make something that doesn't end up getting launched or that gets scrapped.
It is actually because we need to learn from these insights. So the point is to understand more about the market, but specifically about what changes in the customer habits that are the most relevant things in terms of potential for growth, but basically to increase or enhance their experience.
Can you share with us your R&D strategy on how you work with your team and get them to achieve these innovative and exciting results that you are delivering?
Yes, the team is pretty diverse internally. So our objective is to create a sort of startup inside the enterprise. And to achieve that, we needed to have a specific team that works in whatever is rapid prototyping techniques. So they are makers. They can do things and they can do them very fast. On the other side, we have an AI lab because we needed to, test it on our own hands and understand exactly what can be done through the new machine learning techniques that are, flourishing around. And finally, a very important area, of course, is scouting. So understanding whatever can be the connection between new startups, new opportunities, and our business needs. And one other key area is communication and design, because we try to package every single result, good or bad, in order to create an insight for everyone internally.
Okay, so it's a constant learning and trackable experience that you're working on.
Yes, exactly. I would say that we are very focused on three things right now. One is personalization, of course, and the other is better understanding how to leverage AI to increase our capabilities, and finally, understanding more about how can we be actionable into the customer journey.
How have things changed for startups and tech innovators over the years, especially retail, e-com and high-end fashion?
It's not like as today. I mean, there was no user-generated content, there was no AdWords, so a lot of things that we consider as the baseline was not present at the time. And this was sort of an advantage, because having a big assortment on one side and some really interesting projects on the communication part, and this helped us very much becoming a relevant partner in the growing web marketing ecosystem. So we had a very big exposure since the beginning, because nobody else was there. From the systemic perspective, there were no big support for startups, especially in Italy, where we started. So we had to invent a lot of stuff, and we had to create it whenever we needed something. We had to shorten our sleeves and do it ourselves. On the contrary, today we have a good system to support startups. So accelerators like yours and other entities, even governments, are supporting startups very much, because they understood that this market has to evolve.
And how do you feel about the interaction between physical and digital retail? I know with Yoox Net-a-Porter Group, it's fully online, and there's still an element where people go to the physical stores.
So the customer gets inspiration from the digital world. That's really convenient, it's faster, and it's pretty straightforward in the end. So with that in mind, we can develop a customer experience at the store where all these elements, all this connection can happen. And the final idea is to create a very personalized experience, so a unique experience for everyone. And this can be achieved through digital capabilities.
I see. So there's almost a hybrid blended approach. So it's interesting that you don't see e-commerce and digital as taking over the physical stores.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is that in the beginning, people were not used to technology, and basically they used to go to a physical store, and these will keep on, let's say, happening, of course. The point is that right now people's habits are being shaped by technology. So we definitely need to study, understand a little bit more, and research how can we be relevant for them even when they're in store, and make sure that the whole experience is a great one in the end.
And artificial intelligence and machine learning are massive topics right now. Can you share any exciting ways that YNAP are using or will be using AI and ML?
Well, this industry is pretty peculiar. So you have specific attention to detail from the brands, and a lot of crave for quality coming from our customers, and you have these things to meet together.
And while we have you here, are you able to let us know about any new product releases or innovations coming up for YNAP?
I would say we We are having something on augmented reality pretty soon, but I cannot disclose anything else.
Is there a tech gadget that you couldn't live without?
No, actually, there are no tech gadgets I can't live without, but I'm really fond of, let's say, music electronic instruments.
And what do you think has been the most innovative or revolutionary tech invention over the last few years?
Well, I think the very interesting combination that I've seen is combining the machine learning techniques and frameworks with cloud, because these will increase a lot the amount of people that can tinker and experiment on AI. So basically, enhancing the area, so increasing the area of experimentation is definitely the best thing to make this thing grow and happen.
Okay, that's a very interesting answer. I wasn't expecting like a cloud machine learning experimentation solution as your answer. So how do you unwind in your spare time?
Well, that's a good question. I actually, whenever I can, I try to practice sport because this helps me very much. But apart from that, I really like to spend time with my daughters.
Thanks for your time, Gabriele, and for sharing some great insights and strategies. YNAP are definitely doing some amazing things. Thanks, Gabriele.
Thanks for being here today.